N.K. Jemisin is a great world builder, and one of the reasons the Broken Earth trilogy, which the fifth season begins, has been such a big success inside science fiction is what a wonderfully fleshed out, coherent, internally consistent world she's imagined. Some of these things are obvious and some we've already touched on. I want to talk about a few bits of world building that get folded in that we don't stop and discuss, and they're the one moment where we kind of break the fourth wall and do discuss some things. Note, for example, though we don't know what to make of it immediately, that nobody in the stillness uses or trusts metal, that it's about stone and ceramics, that they don't use metal if they can help it. For whatever reason, metal is problematic. Have they lost that technology? Do they have some anthropological taboo against it? It remains to be seen, but it's not for no reason. These changes are significant. Notice that the Earth is referred to not as Mother Earth, but as Father Earth and as Evil Earth. The Earth is not imagined here as a mother figure, a maternal figure that gives life. It is an angry, furious, punitive father. Notice the use of the word rusting as a substitute for other words we would use. Even the F word does get used very early by the headman in Torimo. Um, what, the, what the F are you doing? But rusting comes up much more often. There's something there about metal and rust and that kind of decay, something that's really untrustworthy about metal. Um, notice that astronomy has become a taboo and ridiculed science. That some sciences have been advanced, others have not because astronomy is bad or because they don't make the distinction between astrology and astronomy, but because there's a sense in Jemisin that culture determines what counts as knowledge, and for whatever social reasons, they're discounting astronomy, that it's considered bad. It's not the case in Jemisin ever that the approved body of knowledge is inherently better. It is her sense always that various bodies of knowledge are advanced to kind of being official truth or dismissed as heretical for political reasons. Yes, there are other scientific reasons, whatever. But here you see that scientifically sound things like astronomy, which is totally a thing, get dismissed. Other forms of science that we would consider science central, like what is more central to the science fiction, the history of science fiction, than astronomy? They look at the stars and go to other planets. This is a world full of people who don't look at the sky at all. I also want to go to that kind of stunning moment between chapters 8 and 9. This is on page 150 and following at the page 1, called Interlude, where some speaker, it's not clear who, breaks the fourth wall and just addresses us, addresses this you here. It's probably not Essen, but it's probably us, is the reader. A break in the pattern, a snarl in the weft. There are things you should be noticing here, things that are missing and conspicuous by their absence. If you haven't been doing it by now, start right now. Notice the things that aren't being mentioned. That is the big change in the world. The blind spots, the things the people of this world refuse to see or have been trained not to see by their culture. Notice, for example, no one speaks of islands. So they talk about why, the end of that. But human beings are ephemeral things in a planetary scale. The number of things that they do not notice are literally astronomical. Jemisin uses the word literally, literally. She doesn't just mean a lot, really. She means literally like, no, astronomical, actually astronomical. They do not notice astronomical things. People don't speak of other continents. Um, they simply take as given a bit of lore passed down from previous histories that says there's nothing else, claims that this continent is the whole world. That might not be true. Likewise, no one speaks of celestial objects, so the skies are as crowded and busy there as anywhere else in the universe. This is largely because so much of the people's attention is directed toward the ground, not the sky. They notice what's there, the stars and the sun and the occasional comet or falling star. They do not notice what's missing. You are being invited there to go back to that previous sentence and notice what's missing. What's up in the sky over the stillness? Stars and the sun and the occasional comet or falling star. What's missing? We are setting up the kind of bravura final sentence of this novel. But then how can they? Who misses what they have never, ever even imagined? That would not be human nature. How fortunate then there are more people in this world than just humankind. We're back to the Stone Eaters who kind of flit in and out mysteriously of this novel, and who are introduced early. It is worth going back and rereading the prelude when you're done with the novel to see if it makes more sense. If you can follow more of it, having finished the volume.